go back to the original way that security was handled before, Homeland Security, the 2001 Authorization Act, and all that stuff. We need to put it back into the hands of private security, which is handled by the airports. So this bill takes it out. We have another bill, HB 1245, as Delegate Glass had alluded to. We put the security force back in there, and then, as we are also saying, we have contingency bills. So we have the main bill here, kick the CSA out. That doesn't make it. We got 3 other bills which segment this bill. We handle children. We say minors can't be searched. We have another bill which privatizes the airport, and then we have another bill which says that the TSA would have to be, at the very least, would have to be trained by the state of Maryland. They have to learn the Constitution. They have to learn the exact same procedures that, say, a Maryland state trooper would have to.
Because they're in your state. And what's beautiful is, even though this stuff didn't pass Texas, it almost did, it puts out the story, the moral authority, it exposes what they're doing, and just resisting gains momentum and exposes what they're doing. You guys are doing an incredible job. This is so exciting.
Thank you for saying so, Alex. Yeah. Thank you. And then also, if I could quickly just add, too, as you said earlier before you introduced us, we do have anti-NDAA legislation in as well. I have a different delegate working on that. It's Delegate McDermott, and he's from northeastern Maryland. And
wow, this is breaking news. I knew about Utah and a few other states. I didn't know about Maryland. This is This is breaking news. So we're going to have legislation to block the NDAA. Stay there. Incredible, gentlemen. One more quick segment. I know you've got to get back to work, but we're going to come back in a few minutes and break that down, and then tell folks where they can go to find the legislation that's been introduced, so we can show it to other state legislatures around the country. We have the moral authority. We're in the right. We're saying no to these usurpers. We'll be right back with Maryland Delegate Glen Glass, joined by Legislative Aide Aaron Jones. Stay with us. Hello, I'm Alex Jones. Yeah, they got Breitbart, all right. They may get all of us that are prominent, but they're not going to get the idea. They're going to be defeated. Ideas are bulletproof. And there's more people waking up every day coming to the defense of this republic and the free world. The fight for freedom is going on here in America. Let's go back to Maryland Delegate Glen Glass, and also legislative aide for another member of the State House who's helping get these bills crafted, Aaron. Glen, wow, Aaron, you just brought up NDAA. I knew some others. I didn't know that bill's about to come out. Tell us about that, please.
Yeah, actually, I'd like to throw it back to Delegate Glass right now. He's got a committee hearing that he's got to run to. So
sure, finish your point then, sir. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Hey, Alex, this is Delegate Glass, Glen Glass again. I have to split. Head down to committee hearing. I have 2 bills. But real fast, yes, Delegate McDermott introduced the bill, and he's a great fighter here in Maryland. And hopefully he can call him one day. He's amazing. But, yeah, we don't want the military to use their troops on Maryland citizens. I was in the Army, and it would break my heart to see that happen. So we're going to do whatever we can to stop that from happening with this bill. And Aaron's just going to talk a little bit more about that. But I have to go. I just wanted to say thank you so much. Maryland is a free state, and we're fighting to keep it free. And I appreciate you and everything that you're doing. And
thank you, sir.
You.
God bless you. Amazing. Everybody's got to get behind your legislation. Thank you so much. We'll find out those numbers. We'll talk to you soon. I definitely want to get him on for maybe the Sunday show, and he's not in session that way. Now, going back to Aaron. Aaron, you've got the floor for the 3 or 4 minutes we've got left. How do we get behind this legislation nationwide so it passes and then duplicates?
Yeah, actually, and I want to talk on that for a minute, too. Now, recently, Utah has just gotten out, and they actually used a very similar version of the House Joint Resolution that we put out. So I know it's definitely getting out there. You can go to actually Rhode Island Liberty Coalition. That's where I got the idea for some of the parts of the House Joint that I put together. This stuff can be found on www.riliberty.com, and this bill was put in conjunction with the 10th Amendment Center as well, and they're doing great work over there.
So it shows the power of people putting out ideas that's being picked up by legislatures.
Oh, absolutely. I know a number of delegates that go on to the 10th Amendment Center. They look and see what the issues are. And then, of course, there's staff like me that comes out, and says, hey, these are big issues. They're very important. I mean, I can't think of anything more important going on right now other than, maintaining our posse comitatus, maintaining, our right to habeas corpus. Those are just fundamental rights that we've had for 800 years in a Western civilization. And to see those things being undermined by Congress is appalling. I don't know what to say.
Well, I'll say this. It's bad, but it's been a big wake-up call. And Texas almost unanimously passed the bill out of the House to stop the TSA groping, which is already illegal. Police can't do that. And it got killed when the feds threatened a blockade of air travel. Well, let them bring the blockade. I mean, force their hand. And there's going to be a state that ends up standing up, and it may be Maryland, it may be Utah. How do we get behind this legislation? What's its chances right now of passing?
Well, they haven't even given us a bill hearing yet. Now, the bill hearing is set. Since it's a House Joint Resolution, it goes through a committee we have here in the state legislature called the House Rules and Nominations Committee, and they hear all the House Joint Resolutions, and a lot of times they'll do them all on the same day. But we have one of the few House Joint Resolutions that has not been scheduled a hearing yet. So what we really need is just an outcry, nationwide. Hey, Maryland, let's defend this. Let's get you guys a bill hearing. Let's have this heard. Let it have its day.
So the leadership's trying to keep it from coming to the floor.
It seems that way because everything else has been scheduled a hearing, and we have one of the few House Joint Resolutions that does not have a hearing yet. So we need this to go viral. We need people to start talking up about Maryland and getting this out there.
And they need to get, obviously, contact the Legislative Affairs Committee chairman?
Yeah. Or you could just contact, any delegate. There's a number of delegates that are on that committee. A lot of them are also on the Appropriations Committee. Well, look, Glenn, I want to get you back up, you and the representative, the delegate, in the next few weeks. Aaron, thank you. Thank you so much for coming on. Thank Glenn for coming on. Absolutely.
And we'll talk to you soon. God bless.
Sounds good. Bye.
Very exciting. That was Maryland Delegate Glen Glass. We were just talking with Legislative Aide Aaron Jones. Listeners of this show, waking up, taking action, defending the Republic. Absolutely wonderful. We'll be back with your calls. And
we're on the
Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Central. We're here live. We've got Bob Chapman joining us for 30 minutes on the economy and world events. Then we've got Dr. Jerome Corsi joining us to give us his take on Andrew Breitbart. I don't know what his take is, but it'll be foul play because he's smart. I mean, I'd say 90% chance they killed him because he was about to release that video proving that Obama was actually in the communist groups, calling for re-education and secret arrest and overthrow of the U.S. government, which they've done now. The government's up there, but it's been overthrown. It's been completely, there's no debating. This is treason out in the open. They got the cops all training for war with us, and once they get us in a fight with the police, then the cops will take it personal, and then the full civil war will be on. And the globalists will sit back laughing at us. I'd rather not have that happen. But he was going to release the footage yesterday and died. I'd say 90% chance they killed him. And the biggest piece of evidence is how within hours they were saying nothing to worry about, move along, it's natural causes. Let's go to your phone calls on this subject, and then I'm going to get into India resists call to cut Iranian oil imports. Ron Paul warming to political VP slot. I am the one person who can make and take young people away from Obama. Oil leaps to highest level since mid-2008. Sheriff Arpaio says Obama's birth certificate a forgery and that there is probable cause for a larger investigation. No kidding. It looks like it was made with crayons or something. We've got all of that to report on. Scientists are shocked to find antibiotics alleviate symptoms of schizophrenia. Yeah, because most of it's generally chemical, and antibiotics a lot of times will reduce for whatever reason, swelling of the brain. I've had brain surgeons on to break this down because the body sees toxins and things almost like it sees bacteria or viruses and swells. And so you take antibiotics, it can cause a shrinkage. And so people then stop thinking that they're Joan of Arc or whatever, or that, the New World Order's after them, even when it is. Can you imagine with all this crazy stuff going on today, how rough it is for schizophrenics? And how many people that get called schizophrenic really aren't? But there's that news. This is really not new information. Also, the Telegraph newspaper and others are now reporting on what we reported on days ago, that the major journal of bioethics globally is calling for the right for government and parents to kill children up to age 3 because they're not humans. This is not a baby in the womb. Well, go ahead and how are they going to kill 3-year-olds? I guess they're in their cute little dress or their little overalls, and they're saying, I want to go play, I want to have fun. Look at the puppy, look at the doggy. And what do? Just shoot them in the head? Maybe chop them up because they're not humans. In fact, that's what Dr. Peter Singer said. He said they're like mackerel. They just have no value. Roaches, old people, trash. And so all of you that saw our article on, what was it, Tuesday? No, it was Monday. And couldn't believe it when we linked to the big medical journals saying it. And you said, this is satire, Jones is nuts. Bunch of mainstream news today saying it's time to start killing up to 3. You're like, that's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy to have TSA on highways now groping people. It's all going to get a lot more crazy. Stalin killing 30, 40 million people. Hitler killing tens of millions. Mao killing over 60 million. It's crazy. The Aztecs cutting people's hearts out every day when the sun came up. It's crazy. That's what happens when you let the crazy people take over. It's called tyranny. All right, let's go to your phone calls. Herb in Washington, you're on the air. Welcome.
Hello?
Hey, buddy, you're on the air worldwide transmitting. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Alex. This is Herbert, the Wild Mormon, up here in Seattle, and I'm doing the best I can. I got me a little 1-watt pirate radio station, and you can even see me on TV if you want. And I got 3 super bullets for you, buddy. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay, the first one is, have you considered that there have to be copies of this material out there? I'll bet you they're saying a couple of weeks because there's somebody out there making some sort of a BitTorrent file right now as we speak. What do you think about that?
We'll never know because they could edit it down. I said yesterday, if they don't release it right away, that gives them time to edit it. They're not just going to kill him and then just let it come out. That means they've got infiltrators in there. That means they're going to try to manage it. And I said, if they don't release it right away, it stinks. I know how this stuff works. And it's not just that. He had a bunch of other info and said he was going to vet an attack dog Obama. He was saying, I'm going to swift boat you. And they said, you die. And again, he was going to release it yesterday. He said he was going to destroy Obama. 90% chance they killed him. And it might not even be that Obama knows. There's all sorts of special interests getting billions of bucks individually from our tax money that Obama hands out. Like all of America's like Chicago Mafia run now. And so that's why there's a lot of people that wanted him dead.
I agree on that. But bullet point number 2. Tomorrow is the caucuses up here in Washington, and we need to get as many Ron Paul supporters as we can to the caucuses. It's an open system, just like it's supposed to be in Iowa. You don't have to be a Democrat or a Republican to attend, so it doesn't matter what party you belong to or like. You can show up and cast your voice.
You're right. And, Paul has said that, and the headline is, Paul threatens to take over Washington caucus, and they should. But what is your gut on Andrew Breitbart? That's what we open the phones up on.
It's got to be dirty. I mean, really, I just can't see him not having copies of this stuff out there to protect himself, though.
I hear you, and I appreciate the call. But here's the point that we need to make to everybody. It's too convenient that he said, I'm going to get you, Obama. I'm releasing it March 1st, and he dies that day. If you'd had some heart issues, bad ticker, whatever, it's too coincidental. But that, I wouldn't be 90% with just that evidence. I'm 90% sure because of the way they handled it. The propaganda rollout is what always lets you know. And the fact that within less than 2 hours, they came out all over the news and said natural causes, and then said, but we don't know what they are, when that's not how it works with a medical examiner. The medical examiner couldn't even be there in 2 hours. You know, the coroner's got to go check, got to decide, look at it, decide if there's going to be an autopsy. Then the medical examiner has to certify that. It's not just one guy, because you can pay